Hello and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I'm Len D'Amico, and this is episode number 111.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, baby.
And tonight we have the Frank Harrison experience.
Have you ever been?
I have been experienced, but I don't know with this lineup that I've seen you live yet. But we're gonna see you coming this year, aren't we, man?
It's coming up, man.
Yeah. What do you got? Well, first of all, Frank Harrison Sr. is here with his
Bassist.
entourage. He's got. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
They're the experience. I'm just the Frank Harrison.
This is Dennis Carson,
And-
drummer.
And Doug Cole, the bassist, bass player.
Doug Cole and Frank Harrison Sr. is
Trumpet and
vocalist.
saxophone.
Trumpet
Yeah.
and sax. I thought you were playing guitar in singing.
You never know.
You never know what you're going to get with Frank Harrison because there's only one, and he is who he is.
That's right.
He's the one and only.
Frank Harrison experience. Frank Harrison Sr. How do you feel about this project?
Oh, man. Over the moon. I'm just really happy and excited. It really takes a lot for me to get up and want to go out and play again, but I spoke to Mr. Carson over here on the drums, and then we found Mr. Doug Cole on the bass, and man, it's been great. We've been rehearsing a lot, learning a lot of new material, and I can't wait to get out and play in front of people. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait. And you know, Columbus Local Podcast has a little tagline, Giants Among Us. I feel like I'm surrounded by giants today. You guys collectively, put everything over the moon in regard to experience and contribution around, your music careers. And I know Frank has done he's done an episode. Frank Harrison Sr. has, and Dennis Carson has done an entire episode. And, if Mr. Cole would like to do one, he's, of course, absolutely. We're going to cover a little bit about your background, too, I think, on this one. But
We need to do that in depth with him.
Guys.
Doug's been down the road, man. He's played with so many people, and fine bassist and a great guy, and just a real pleasure to be in a band with.
And I found a home.
That's
the best part.
Doesn't that feel good when that happens?
Yeah, it does, buddy, because I'm not looking, I'm not searching, and I've just found a home.
Yeah.
I guess that's the easiest way to put it, man. I'm real happy.
Yeah.
We're all after fun. That's the main ingredient to this is fun. We've been through the trials and tribulations of rock stardom and all that craziness, and man, we're just out to go out and have a good time, and hopefully that transcends to people and they have a good time.
How can they not with you three, right? This is a power trio that is performing, non-original music, Frank, right? But
Yeah.
but it's
coming.
a tribute, though, right?
That's-
It's a tribute, right? So what kind of music should people expect with the Frank Harrison experience?
Well, it's basically like most things that are three-piece. It's guitar driven, but like I've said before on camera and off to you, how I feel about these guys. It's like I have to have a rhythm section that can chug it out, and it just don't get any better than Dennis and Doug. It just doesn't. It inspires me, and I need that. I want to be inspired. If I can't play with people that inspire me, I just stay home and eat chips. I'm dead serious. That happens because as long as I'm having a good time, I'm not trying to be selfish, but man, I just really believe it starts with you as a person. If you're happy, you're going to make other people happy. And this Frank Harrison experience, whatever the hell you want to call it, I'm proud of that name. I really fought myself for a long time whether I wanted to call it the Frank Harrison experience. And somebody might cop an attitude like, "Oh, you're trying to be like Jimi Hendrix experience." Like, well, is that a bad thing? I'm not Jimi Hendrix. Don't claim to be. I don't want to be. I'm Frank Harrison, and you're not. And we'll just leave it at that. So, but I need the firepower of Dennis Carson and Doug Cole, and I have it. And so all I can say is look out Columbus and look out world, because I feel like you do, Lindy. I have giants among us.
Yeah,
So-
and it's going to be a fun year for you guys getting back into this scene, right? And so,
Most definitely.
what is on the horizon, and when's your first show coming up? Who's talking through this one?
Well, I'll say something about
Dennis
that.
Carson.
We,
drummer.
We've scouted around trying to find some venues, and unfortunately a lot of them are booked up, and so we decided we'd go out and do some open mic nights just to get out and play a little bit and see how it worked on stage. And a real good friend of ours is the owner at Newark Station out in Newark, Todd Alexander, and unfortunately we didn't really know that we knew each other at the time because he worked at the same company I did for a long time. And so we went out there and did an open mic, and we played the stage equipment that they had, and really just kind of knocked his socks off. We played like 2 songs, and he came right up to the stage and said, "Okay, you guys are great. We got, nobody does that stuff. We got to get you guys booked out here."
Right on.
So we kind of talked about money and dates and what's going on, and he's going to set us up at Newark Station for their opening seasonal event that they're having. They have a huge stage outside, a big overhead covered PA lights, all that kind of good stuff.
And it's
they
cold.
could probably put 500-600 people in there, and they have big volleyball sand courts and stuff. And so he set us up for the opening gig for their outside stage, and
at the Yard.
It's
called
Yard.
The Yard.
So it's gonna, that it means a lot to us because he's given us a shot, so to speak.
Yep.
And it means a lot to him because he's excited over the moon. He just loves everything that we did that night, and so we're hoping the weather's good and it'll be a sellout.
Yeah,
Man,
I think it's going to be great.
it sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
It should be really a good gig for us. It's going to be our first kind of opening up the can of worms and making it happen.
What's the duration of your performance? Yeah, your show.
It's 7 o'clock, 7 to 9 is what we've talked about.
early, yeah.
But we've got enough songs to probably play till 11 if they'll let us.
And you'll do it too, won't you guys?
Yeah,
Why not?
We're having a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time rehearsing because it was hard to get a gig somewhere. All the clubs are booked, and we did a couple other open mic things that panned out for us. The Black Swan, we've got that date coming up in
July.
We did another open mic on that,
Yeah.
and I think our first gig, El Dorados.
Yeah, we played
over at El
Sunday
Dorados
at
and on a Sunday with Rick Kalura over there, and we said we could get up and do a set. We got up and did a set, and people loved it. And,
Yeah, that was a fun.
We loved it.
I was there.
That's right. That's right.
You were there.
I came to see you
can-
guys,
can
and that was
attest
a
to that, brother.
great. Yeah, I took some video, posted it. People
You
were
did.
loving that.
Yeah.
and it's good stuff you guys are doing.
And I think, to back up, you were saying earlier about what can we expect from the Frank Harrison experience. And first of all, I'd like to say that the credit for this formation goes to Dennis Carson, because him and I we had talked when I did my podcast with you about doing Frank Harrison's Straits 30-year reunion, which we did with Marty Whalen, and that was a lot of fun. And Dennis and I talked about doing something in the future, and we weren't sure what it was going to be. I know I wasn't, and I don't think he was, but he called me one day and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing a Stevie Ray Vaughan / Robin Trower tribute?" I said, "I'm down for that. Sign me up." And because, like we talked about, Stevie Ray Vaughan being an influence on everybody, so is Robin Trower. I've had the honor of opening up for him for 5 times in my life, and that's just right there. My life is complete. Open up one of my guitar heroes, and so we definitely have a good mix of Stevie Ray and Robin Trower, plus some other goodies. Gary Moore, ZZ Top, what else? Help me out here, guys. Stevie Wonder, yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Get funky with Stevie.
Imagine that.
Yeah, we've it's a mainly guitar music. The first set is, I'm telling you, a lot of you people out there. Hello, Columbus. Remember me, Frank Guitar Harrison? I've fired up this engine and I'm coming back out for you. If you want to, if you've been asking me on Facebook and everything else, I'm sorry, guys. I have to do this.
Do it.
You've been asking me, hey, when you gonna Stevie Ray? I saw you play Stevie Ray Vaughan years ago, but well, now's the time. I've got a great rhythm section, the best in Columbus. Dennis Carson on drums and Doug Cole on bass, and we're gonna throw down. And like Dennis said, our first gig is May 17th.
May 17th.
A Saturday from 7 to 9 at the Yard in Nurk Station, Nurk, and
Outdoor concert.
yeah, outdoor concert. And we're going to do that 75-minute set, and then we're going to take a break and drink a glass of water and come back out and play some funky stuff and some blues and some rock and roll and a little bit of everything. And I think people will enjoy it. I know I'm looking forward to it because, once again, I get to follow my heart and do what I want to do. It makes me happy.
Heck yeah.
So,
Well, we got a really good response when we did the reunion show from the Stevie Ray Vaughan and the Trower stuff we did, and I think that really kind of set the tone for this adventure.
Yeah.
yep,
I call it the journey, the journey of 2025.
absolutely.
We're not sure where it's going to end up or which way it's going. But
That's the beauty of it, though, man. Don't you think? Like
Yeah.
you're getting on the interstate and you're gonna go. You don't know where it's gonna go.
yeah,
It's an adventure.
I agree with you, and I tell these guys all the time that I'm just a firm believer that if you follow your heart and do things for the right reasons, then everything else is gravy.
Yeah.
It's like, and I once again, same thing. I didn't invent it, but it's the truth. When one door closes, another one opens. I just keep my eyes open and see what's up ahead on the highway. Like I said, we might stop off at a rest stop, or we might go to over here and play this amphitheater. You just never know what's going to happen with the Frank Harrison experience, because it is an experience. There's nothing like what we do. Nothing. There's nobody like me in the world, and that's not being egotistical. It's just a fact. I am who I am, and like Popeye the Sailor Man, I'm proud of that. It's taken me a long time to get to this place and feel that way, and I feel that way because I have a great band that can back it up. And so, if one person, hell, Led, you and I have been friends for a long time, and you said one of the reasons you started playing music was because of
That's
me.
a true
Man,
story.
that's an honor.
That's a true story.
Thank you for telling me that, because that's an absolute honor, and I couldn't thank you enough.
So, Doug, where do you fit in this?
Thank you, Frank.
Doug.
Yeah. And
Come on, Doug.
I'm just
doing all
glad
the-
to be here. Are you
Doug-
kidding me?
Doug's the bass player.
He's the anchor,
And Doug and I fit together like,
We do.
hand in glove.
yeah. It really was kind of unique how it fell together with us. I saw he had an opportunity out there he wasn't playing, and it's tough finding people these days because I've been at it for a while, and
So did you know him?
not at all.
Did you know his name?
We
though?
know of him.
yeah.
You know
But-
of Doug.
Yeah,
Cole.
you know what caught my eye more than anything? We had the exact same birthday on the exact same year,
It's July.
and so July 9th.
July 9th. Happy birthday, guys. In
Anyways,
advance.
so that was kind of a moment of clarity, like, maybe I should. And he plays
this might mean
bass.
something.
And your cancers too. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be sensitive to
Yes.
everything happening
We
around
are.
you.
We are.
No, we
And
wear
they
our
are,
heart.
aren't they, Frank? Are they? These
No, I
sensitive
am
guys?
too. I'm not out of that club. I'm a Taurus, for whatever that means. I'm bull, horns of the bull.
I'm not seeing that in him.
No,
Are you
I-
guys seeing a bull in Frank Harrison?
No,
Seeing
I'm
it?
like-
definitely Taurus the bull. I
I was being sarcastic.
I know.
Just don't let him in a china shop.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to Doug Cole over here, right? What's up?
I got this. I think it was a call. It was a message from Dennis, and we need to get together and have lunch, and talk. And that's how it happened. I mean, there was no preconceived notion that we're going to be buddies and we're going to be in a band. He called me
you
to
had
see
a
if we had
serious
anything.
conversation.
Yeah, we could just chill and have fun. And we did. We did that a couple times, and then it seemed like a couple months because it took a minute for for it to really materialize and to get with Frank.
Right.
And I think once he felt the first couple songs that there was a groove there was some chemistry, then it just blossomed. I think he got a smile on his face
Yeah, he would know.
one rehearsal, and he knew it was feeling good. And that's, if you ask Frank, and if there's anything I have learned from working with Frank, is if it feels good, it's good.
James Brown. I was just going to say that, man. I
Don't overwork it. Let
No.
it ride.
No, we all know. I mean, all of us, Len, you, everybody. We're all musicians, and we do that because it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
But also, you do that because hopefully it transcends to other people and you affect people. Like I said, you bought a guitar because of me. Man, I'm so honored to just hear that. Like, I know how that is when I was young and looking up to my heroes and wanted them to give me a hand up. And so to be able to be reciprocal. Stevie Ray Vaughan said that. He goes, look, man, it's about your doing. Don't ever think it's all about you, because if you do, it'll be your undoing. And I never forgot that. And I just think that's true, man. It's like you got to give it back, And so I have no ego when it comes to that. It's like I am who I am, and nobody could do what I do. And that's just a fact. It's like there's only one Dennis Carson, there's only one Doug Cole, there's only one Len DeBico, and I just say be proud of that, and I am. And I don't rub it in anybody's face. I don't ask anybody to ask me how great I am. I just play, let the music do the talking. And Doug's right. It's about feel. I watched that movie with that actor playing James Brown. It was just so it hit my heart. It was like, man, does it feel right? Yeah, then it's right. And if it moves us, there's probably a good chance it's going to move other people.
Well, and it felt right away with Doug and I, and which is kind of strange because he really didn't come from the background that we came from. Doug and I, or Frank and I both have played trio music, guitar-oriented music for years. That was my staple. Mm-hmm. Doug had quite a storied history of club music. He played with Julie Ivory for 16 years?
11, 12 years,
Oh.
from Sunkissed into Snapshot, Julie Ivory. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And so he was in a...
Oops.
It's all right.
You're very popular, Doug.
There's no editing, by the way.
He was in a whole different world of music. And so when we first started, getting together, I think there was a little hesitancy of how strong should I be playing? How loud should I be playing? And we both said right away, this is a trio, you're the bass player, make it happen,
You
Get in.
You just gotta mean it.
Gotta get in the gotta get in there.
You got to mean it.
He fell in right away.
They gave me the opportunity that I had been kind of craving for a long time, because I came from a show band, kind of dance oriented, top 40 band. We played the current hits, and I've been doing it for a long time, and occasionally played, like Sweet Home Alabama, not Sweet Home, Stormy Monday or Sweet Home Chicago, but that was the extent of my blues. I wasn't really a blues bass player.
I think you were surprised when you got together with Dennis and I, because I know I have this title bestowed upon me, and it is a title, and I do appreciate it. Frank Harrison, great blues guitar player. I thank you, Columbus and the world. I appreciate that, and I don't take it lightly. But I just really feel, unless I'm fooling myself, and I don't think I am. If you're lucky enough in this life to do one thing really good, you're blessed, and we all three are definitely blessed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't, for lack of a better term, jump ship and play this genre or that genre. Stevie Ray Vaughan was blues, Texas Flood. He was rock and roll, Houses of Rockin', and Ding Ding Ding. He was played Texas Flood. That's blues. If that ain't what that is, then pardon me. But saying that what Stevie Ray Vaughan does is not like Buddy Guy is just stupid. And I'm gonna throw myself in that same club of playing trio music with Dennis and Doug, and I know that I guess hopefully Doug will back me up on this, that we played, it's like, man, this guy can definitely play blues, but man, you guys can rock. I mean, we do something like Shapes of Things by Gary Moore. It's like, that's right, we will kick your ass. It'll happen. And we play something like Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder, and Doug lays that down. It's like, man, these boys can funk. So it's that whole idea of of the shades of rock, blues, and rhythm and blues. That's where I live as far as genres go. I like heavy metal. I like some jazz. I like commercial music. I know who Whitney Houston is. She was a legend. She was great. I listen to everybody. And some stuff just washes over me more than others. But the fact that we can play rock, blues, and rhythm and blues completely well on all three genres, that's a complete blessing for me. I love rock, I love blues, I love rhythm and blues. I just don't want to live in one neighborhood. I want to do all three. And we're able to do that.
And to tell you the truth, in my day back in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s, early 90s, I knew of Frank because he was a big fish in a little pond too in Columbus at that time. We were
Still am.
and we were all back in the day in this town. We were playing 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
Monday through Saturday, and Sunday was our only night off. And we didn't go out and usually hear another band. We were working musicians. We did this for years, and so I had seen Frank from far away, and I had seen a couple of his performances. I think one was the Dolphin, and one was some outdoor. Maybe I tell you where it was. I think it was the It was down on the riverfront. In front of
Dennis.
South, what was the name of that high school? South.
Yeah.
Central.
Where they had that floating
Central
stage.
High School.
I played that stage a long time ago, but I think I seen you guys down there.
That's what Marty
My
did,
point being is, I had sent him a message maybe 5 or 6, 7 years ago on Messenger, introducing myself to him and saying, hey, I know you, we've never really met, but blah, 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 blah. If you ever need a bass player. And he said something like, well, you never know what the times will bring you.
Yeah.
And that was years ago, man. I can't even find it on Messenger. I was going to show him the message I sent him.
I believe you.
But again, he's given me the opportunity because he's a real deal. He's a real deal blues man, rocker. And I thought, well, all I got to do is say no. I mean, that's the worst that can happen. And so when I went over, through Dennis's inviting us and setting this whole thing up, I was nervous. I didn't walk in there thinking I had anything, and knowing where Frank was and kind of where we were in the big bowl in Columbus, Ohio, back in the '80s. I thought I'd love to play with that guy, man. That guy's the real deal. There ain't too many real deals in this town. Right. I mean, there's some great players, but Frank is up there with.
Oh yeah.
But you know what was funny is, I think when I did my podcast with you, we talked about it was something brewing, and I said, well, I'm not sure exactly what's going to come out of it yet, but we've got some ideas going on.
Yeah.
And through several different conversations with different people. And when I mentioned we had Doug, coming over, everybody said, "Really? I mean, that dude can play. He's a great. He comes prepared, And I told Frank, I said, I'm hearing nothing but great things.
Yeah,
he's got quite a resume and reputation around town. He's got like 3,000 followers on Facebook to my 196.
Frank understands these things. He knows the power of marketing.
Yep. I'm learning.
And I said, so if nothing else, Frank, he's got a lot of friends on Facebook. Let's see how this goes.
And I know about 50 of them.
Man.
If that many.
So when did this actually? Was this about a year?
September of 24.
Yes,
September of 24.
Yeah, we spent a couple months trying to feel things out, working up a set list.
It's like 6 months ago.
And then I had a surgery.
And
I was out
we
for
were
6
down for the
weeks.
holidays. Doug had neck surgery.
Neck surgery.
But we really kind of kicked it off in January, I think, was when things really kind of got serious that, okay, this is going to work. We should put some songs together. What do we want to play? Because Doug wants to come prepared.
Yeah.
So
Well, the bass player has to.
well,
Yeah.
You have to know that.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
the
Well, it's
song.
important to all of us, but that passion is shared by all three of us.
Yes.
It's like we're not to be a buzzkill, but we're dead serious about this. This is serious fun. That's the
yes.
best-
Yep.
we upped the practice schedule from once a week to like, okay, let's get together twice a week now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've been at it pretty solid.
And you know, it's one thing to see a video of you guys rehearsing and seeing it and and you guys are having fun, but it's another thing to experience it live.
Yeah.
Like at your to go to your show. Go to your show.
All right.
And experience the real power
That's
of live performance of a power trio like
Yep.
this. You know, it's explosive.
It is.
And it's genuinely passionate.
I had a gentleman come see Dennis and I when we played Frank Harris in the Straits with Marty at Stars out on Chatterton Road, and this guy was he was a white collar conservative guy, very nice man. I think it was Bill something.
Was he walking down the street?
Like
Color conservative walking down the street.
Go on, Mr. Businessman. You can't dress like me. I'm assuming I kind of drop a dime. I'm brave, my flick flag high. Play on, drummer. Sing on, brother. Anyway. Thanks,
I
Jimmy.
I
Thanks,
took him on a
Jimmy.
tangent. That was my fault.
You took me on, Jimmy.
But I took you down that road.
Anyway, what's cool though
I
is
picked up on it.
this guy, asked me where are you playing at, and I told him, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna try to come back and see you." I'm like, "Okay, no offense." I'm saying to myself, I won't hold my breath. You know, people say that they do this, but they don't do that. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Lo and behold, we're playing out at Stars, and this guy shows up. He's back at the lighting board. And he's watching us play, and I'm thinking, you're seeing Frank Harrison. That's the guy that plays louder than anybody, including Mark Chatfield.
Really?
No, I'm kidding about Mark. I told Mark one day, I said, Mark,
I don't know about
what
these
is it?
guys.
Nobody ever says anything about Mark Chatfield. You want chips to drink with that? It's like, I'm Frank Harrison. I'm the guy that plays louder than anybody. But now I don't care. I'm going to wear it on my sleeve like an emblem. Anyway, the point being is this guy comes to see us play, and at the end of the set, I'm thinking, man, he's going to go, yeah, it's really good, but man, it's like a B-52 coming down the street. So I said, are you having a good time? He goes, yeah. I said, is it too loud? He goes, no. It's powerful.
there you go.
It's powerful.
I go, he gets it.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord, he gets it. If you combine a drummer like Dennis and a bass player like Mr. Doug Cole here and myself, that's like a train coming down the tracks, and we will run your ass over. But it's like when you hear it, it's like when you hear AC/DC. Man, you best get out of the way. You're going to get hurt.
It's in your face.
It's in your face, and that's. To me, that's part of life, man. It's like it's shades and colors. I talk about that all the time, and that's another thing that I learned from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Buddy Guy and playing with these guys is that to say that Frank Harrison plays loud is a fact. I own it. I don't deny it or whatever. I own it. But to say that's all I do, you're stupid. You're fucking stupid. Go home.
Well, what I learned, years ago from playing. I've always played with.
Dennis has always played with guys with Marshalls,
with loud guitar
Loud
players.
guitar player.
It is. My wife and I talk about that, and I go, "Hey, I know what it's all about. I play loud.
Yes,
so
you do.
It's okay.
You play with passion.
I do. But what's
powerful.
What people
Powerful
there you
passion.
go. What people don't maybe take notice of is Frank plays with a lot of dynamics. And Marty and I back in the straight days, we learned how to be dynamic in the playing. I mean, we can go from mega volume to a whisper.
And then in the middle.
And so there's not a lot of that going on with a lot of music that's out there. We really focus on accents,
Serving the song. Serve the song.
deliver the right dynamics at the right time.
Right on.
Play with the band, not at the band.
Right on.
And so, yeah, it can be loud, but it also will be
That's
very
not all
dynamic.
that it is. Come out to a show and find out, folks. Come out to a show. Come
That's
out and
the
see us
thing.
at the Yard in Newark on the 17th of May.
30th, we're going to be at the Lazy Chameleon,
Yeah.
May 30th.
May 30th.
Lazy Chameleon. We can't
Friday.
advertise.
Friday, right?
Yeah, it's a Friday night. It's the Memorial Tournament weekend, so we're hoping we're going to have a big crowd.
That's right. You're on my list that
And
night.
Jerome was very positive in giving us that date.
Yep.
We've got a
Cool.
date later on in July at
Fenders.
Fenders, and then of course the Black Swan in June. So we got 4 big dates coming up this summer.
But right now,
yeah, man.
like Ryan Day, I want to focus on this game.
This is the
which
game.
is the
Yep.
yard at
Exactly.
Newark playing. We came, we saw, we played, we conquered. So
May 17th,
Yeah.
2025.
yeah,
Yeah.
come
Newark
out, man.
Station.
Please come out, folks, and see a real band.
It's going to be awesome.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
It'll definitely be fun.
Can't wait.
What were you before all this happened to you, Mr. Cole?
Well,
You want to start at the beginning? Like, well, how'd you start playing music?
Oh my God. I'd love to.
You got
tell
a story?
I got a story.
Can we
I
hear
was a
his, Can
drummer.
we hear his story? We've heard both of you guys' stories.
What I think is funny is that he's going, man, nobody's ever asked me that.
Yeah, so now he's
You
all
really
excited.
want me to tell my story? Oh, Frank, Dennis, go home.
He's all
See you
excited.
guys. See you guys.
Doug Cole,
I know part of this story.
always
but-
been a bass player?
No, actually, my dad was a guitar player. I started playing guitar when I was about 11, 10, 11, 12. I started playing drums when I was about 11, 12, and I played drums until I accidentally became a bass player because my guitar player in my little basement band was going over to some hillbilly guy's house on the weekends and making $15 going out to like places in Hilliard and little dive bars, and next thing I know, I'm playing in a bar. I'm 15 and a half years old, making
bass?
$30 a week playing Friday and Saturday night.
Damn, man.
$15 a night.
Nobody gets those gigs. You do, though.
I had a man. Paid off a bass through Whitey Lenzar
Oh, yeah.
when I was like 16 years old, and then
How'd the Julie Ivory thing come together?
that was much later. That was like.
How'd that happen?
Well, I got into a group with Paul Rogers and Susie Goldstein. Some people remember the old Sangria North days. And that was a show band / dance band, top 40 band. Anyway, we were on the road. We played Sangria North for 18 months, 6 nights a week. That was back in the day when there was working musicians in Columbus, and there were probably 15, 16, 17 bands that just worked the circuit.
Yeah.
And there was a hell of a circuit here in Columbus back then. Not to mention we were all on the road, so we were always working. Sunkissed at that time, Marty Turner, Jeff Shepard, myself, and Doug Slyman pulled away from Paul Rogers, and Susie had gone. Goldstein had started her own group, and Snapshot was born. Julie Ivory. We had Mimi Russo first because she had just left Spitting Image, and we had Mimi for about 8 months, 9 months, and then Mimi wanted to do something different, and she did, and we got another singer by the name of Julie Ivory. Things went real well. She got a TV show called Music Magazine on Channel 10, which led to an album, which led to...
Let me interrupt. What happened to Paul Rogers? Did he go on tour with Bad Company?
Not that Paul Rogers.
That's all I...
His real name was Paul Kern.
Okay.
If anybody, old people out
I
there
figured
might remember him.
I figured for levity, I'd clarify that.
Yeah, it wasn't the
not
Paul
the
Rogers.
Paul Rogers.
Yeah. And he still goes by Paul Rogers to this day, but his real name's Kern.
I wonder why.
So anyway, so the Snapshot was born out of that Sunkissed group that was a touring band. And I worked with Julie and those guys we had about, after Doug Slyman left, we had Jim Stafford, and then we had Bob Willems, and that lasted about 12 years, 11, 12 years. And then I went back to work in the early 90s till 2019 and drove a truck, semi. And then I retired in 2019 and just started playing around my videos because I didn't have nothing to do. Started doing videos of bass parts that I liked. And then I got into a couple things, nothing real. Played with a really good group called Nightfall for about a year. And then, Oh, the Avalons. I'm sorry, I forgot about the Avalons. Yeah, I do have a bass spot at the Avalons, but they're not doing too much as that has dissolved, and they're a new group and they're starting a new way or new material. So, but yeah, I did the Avalons from 2020 till 2024. I've got one show with them this year. They're not doing much, but so
A vocal group, right?
they're a vocal group. Yeah, they're a show band, kind of. They do a lot of the Frankie Valli, Gary Puckett, old.
They're not doing any Gary Moore. Oh,
No, we're not.
No ZZ Top.
No ZZ Top. Yeah, it's a laid back
No
gig.
Stevie Ray.
No Stevie Ray.
Yeah,
But that's
it's different.
but
Yeah.
this right here is just it just came at the best time. This is roots music. This is raw power, raw energy, guitar music with grit and ass. That's how I like it.
Powerful.
Powerful. Yeah, and I love the way Dennis plays. I'm a big drummers and bass players.
Yeah.
He's my guy.
It's a good thing.
He's
It's
my guy.
amazing.
We compliment each other. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we do.
We really do.
Oh yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
And as I said before, when I'm in, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to be in, but when Doug and I started, really finding our
Working.
spot, gosh, I feel like I'm
You're
35
blessed. You're blessed.
Yeah,
It's a
we
good
are.
thing.
again. It is.
Yeah.
It's
And
a,
we- and
it's
we're gonna
a,
have the
it's a
same birthday and-
rejuvenation every time, right? You press the reset button, but then I think in our age bracket, you're a little more cautious.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
when you know. And when you guys came in here today, I'm like, man, I can feel the self-respect and the respect for each other. That really makes for a magical project, because you guys really like each other, you respect each other.
We've all paid our dues.
You're
you know?
having fun, man.
We all pay our dues, and like Dennis said when we talked one day, he goes, "Man, I just want to have fun." And I'm like, "Well, then you came to the right place because we're going to have fun." And we have so far, and we have a good camaraderie between the three of us. We don't see each other all the time, and we do occasionally have a disagreement or a dust up. Who the hell doesn't? But it's because we're so passionate
Yes.
about the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, man, get it right, or don't do it.
It's usually because the drummer goes, I can't play that. I'm not there yet.
It's good to stretch each other too, man.
It is.
It is.
Most definitely.
It's growth. It's growth as a result for everybody.
Well, I mean, it's. I know.
I
Look,
like
man,
what
when
you
know-
say, Frank.
What's that?
When you say, we're not for everyone,
No, that's the truth, man.
but we enjoy what we're doing.
Well,
and we're loving it.
I saw a button on somebody's shirt one day that said "Elvis for everyone." I get that. I was a big Elvis fan, and Elvis appealed from people from 8 to 88, and that's cool. But that's an anomaly. You get somebody like that. There's only going to be one Elvis. Never going to be another one like that. And just like for me, there's never going to be another Jimi Hendrix. He's 75% the reason I play guitar. When he came out, I unequivocally knew what I wanted to do with my life: play music and make people's hearts sing, including mine. It's never changed, never. And I'm glad about that. It gives me something to do. It gives me, I don't know if I didn't play guitar, I would be like a hitman or a mass murderer or something. But maybe, maybe give me a gun, we'll see what happens. I'm kidding, of course, folks.
Whatever.
But no, man, we get on well with each other, and I'm glad for that. And like Dennis said, man, we want no drama, and I say I want little or no drama. You ain't gonna get no drama from the three of us. It's going to come from the rest of the world, and that's just the way it is sometimes. And man, Len, being in a band too, brother. It's like one thing that I've learned about that is one of the key words is be adaptable.
Oh yeah.
Because you're going to come to a club and they're going to go, "Oh, you're the band? Well, we don't have a stage, so we set up in a corner. And there's one light. Have fun." We've all done that.
French fry light.
We've all
Those are fun gigs, though, man.
you
They
make
are. I don't
it
care
is.
where I
I agree.
play. I really don't.
It comes back
I
to
just wanna
as long
play.
as the music, we're having fun with the music, then I feel like it's like a secret club. Even if people are at a club and not paying attention, but then all of a sudden they look up and they see three guys having fun. They're like, I would think, wait a minute, what's going on with this? Give me the punchline here. And it's like, oh, these guys are really good. They really mean it. They're really serious and powerful and passionate. You know, I have a truckload of passion when it comes to music. And, you know, it makes me happy when people go, man, you really could tell you're really into what you're doing. And Dennis gets the same thing. And Doug does too. It's like, man, you know, we throw down. We're not messing around here. Sorry. That's okay. You were calling me, and now I'm calling you back. It's just serious fun.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So I'm digging it, man. I'm happy to get out and play with these two guys, and I think the rest of the world is going to dig it. Maybe not everybody, but somebody will like us. Hell.
Frank, aside from the Straits reunion show, when was the last time you were out regularly?
That was it. That was it, man. I've been sort of when COVID hit, like a lot of people,
changed everything.
It changed. You know what? You wouldn't think that it would affect people, because when it first happened, it didn't really affect me. I didn't really see that change, but I knew that when it happened, that it was something to take serious, whatever your beliefs are on that, shot or no shot. But you could tell that, you know, clubs were just kind of dissipating as far as being open and also having people to come out and play for it. Man, I just didn't want to do that. I'd done it too many times, so I felt like I needed to take myself out of the lineup, and I did. From 2020 to 2024 or thereabouts, I worked on a new record. I'm actually still working on a record. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's 10 songs, and it's definitely Frank Harrison Experience music, and we hope to be showcasing that here at a later date. You know,
Yep.
Awesome.
in fact, one of the songs that we're playing in the Stevie Ray Vaughan set is for Stevie. It's called The Blues Is Everywhere, and that was on my first and only CD that came out back when dinosaurs ruled the world. Again, that's a joke, folks. Write it down.
It's a good record, man.
Thank you. You've heard it. Blues is
I
everywhere,
have.
and it's just an homage. I got to meet Stevie, and when he died, it just put a big hole in my heart, like everybody else's. And you know, I always say that sometimes good things come from bad things, and that was one of the songs that came from that. And I wrote it specifically for Stevie, and we played at the shows, and people really seem to take to it, and that makes me happy. You know, I have to write from my heart. That's the place that I live most of the time.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the other aspect of our set list. You know, we're doing, you know, a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan, of course, because we're doing that tribute thing. We're doing probably 6 or 7 Trower songs right now.
Yeah,
But
more
the
to come.
But the rest of the set list is based on danceable stuff that fits a trio.
Right.
And then we're doing some of the original stuff that Frank has written before. We're going to be doing more. And then we're taking and putting original spin on some other popular songs that you would never guess we would play. I mean, we're doing 2 Stevie Wonder songs. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Well, one is Superstition, and Stevie Ray Vaughan did that, but Mr. Cole over here was throwing it down one day on the bass playing Higher Ground by Stevie. I'm like, oh, we got to play that.
Pull it in.
That's just too damn funky, man. That's so funky you could smell it.
Not only is it blues and rock, but I'm learning how to play funk too.
Me too.
How's that different for you?
It's a whole different world. I've never played that stuff before, and I've told Frank straight up. I said, you know, if there's anything I struggle with, it's
Funk.
It's funk, because I've never played it. So there may be some critics out there going, "You're doing it all wrong." Well, it's my funky self. This is the way I play it.
Hey, I've played with some of that stuff. You know, we're doing Them Changes by Band of Gypsies, and we put a spin on that. You know, and there's a breakdown in the middle of that where it's Sly and the Family Stones. Thank you for letting me be myself again.
That's right.
And then from that we go into Superbad by James Brown, and you know, man, I don't care what
trendy.
color you are. I don't care if you're black, white, or polka dot. But we played that stuff before. People are like, "Man, you funky for white boys." So I'll take that as a badge of honor because that's hard to do.
Let's hear it.
And
Let's
Dennis
go hear it.
And he's got it all down.
Bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all that funky stuff. Somebody told me when I said I was playing with you, they're going, I think Doug Cole's the first guy that was doing that slap stuff back in the day. And I go,
I know who said that too.
Who was that?
John Schwab.
yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's going, man, Doug.
John knows everybody,
Doug's
doesn't
a solid dude, man. Yeah, he and Molly too both had mentioned,
Yeah, she's the shit.
he?
Are you kidding me?
She was born to play the bass. Was
She
not?
was. She plays everything great.
She a beast.
She is a beast, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Awesome.
Oh, like you said, man. There's. I went to Austin, Texas years ago. My late wife took me there, and we went on a weekend jaunt, and we went to Antone's and saw Omar and the Howlers, and we went on East 6th Avenue. I think that's what it's called. And I'm not kidding you guys. Every bar had a band. Every bar.
That's what I hear.
And we went in this one place, and this guy Howard McLaughlin was playing, and he had super reverb and a Strat, and he had a bass player and a drummer, and he was really good, man. I was really impressed. And they were passing around a pickle jar, and people were plastic pickle jar, people throwing money in. That's how you got paid. But I came back going, you know what, man? In Austin, Texas, you have the heritage of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimmy Vaughan from Fabulous Thunderbirds and all that. You have Eric Johnson, another brilliant virtuoso guitar player, and so on and so forth. And that's the only thing Columbus, Ohio doesn't have as far as some sort of national thing. I mean, guys that played in Austin, that's a Tuesday night in Columbus, Ohio. Man, there's some throwdown musicians in this town. I don't know them personally, but there's some cats in New York City that play jazz, and they're like, man, we have the utmost respect for a lot of players that come out of Columbus. I just saw a thing on Facebook with Bobby Floyd.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh my God, man!
I saw them a couple weeks ago.
Incredible. And he's on tour playing in New York City, and as he should be, man. He's one of the best.
Yep.
And that's Bobby Floyd. I mean, there's so many good musicians and all different genres of music and stuff. We're very blessed to have that. It's not just a blues town or a rock town or a funk town. It's all three and then some.
Yep. It is a diverse community. It is very diverse, and there's a lot to offer everywhere. I mean, you
Most
just
definitely.
you just live here a little while and you get to learn your favorites.
Absolutely.
And we are so appreciative of you
Yes, absolutely.
doing this because it's so cool that you can get to understand where people came from, what they did, and it's an honor to be part of this with you.
Well, I mean,
it's all good.
It's really a very personal kind of thing that I did. I mean, when I met Frank Harrison the first time, he doesn't remember it, but it was at a show right down the street at the Short North Tavern in like the late 90s or 2000, I think it was actually. And boom, there he was. And I was just floored. I was just floored by the energy, the passion. And I just thought, man, I have to get involved. Right. But I guess my point is with the podcast is, I took a minute and he took a minute to give me a little bit of time and to give me some tips, what kind of Strat should I look for he's like, Mexican Strats are okay for the first one.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with those guitars. And he was right. And so that kind of thing, and I was always kind of reaching for that and kind of wanting to get to know, well, what's his story? I mean, what's this guy's story, right? Eventually, I was able to record it, which is freaking awesome, But the podcast kind of stemmed from that kind of personal habit.
That's a labor of
of
love,
going
man.
out, supporting local music. That's a good thing to do, and it's a valuable thing to me because I love to be there where it's happening, and on a local level, it's delicious.
Columbus needed someone like you.
What do you mean?
What
There are other people out there. I mean, I'll say it loud and proud. I mean, when I actually started doing this, I thought the first person I thought of, like, maybe handing this over to was Christy Kemper of QFM, of what she's done for this town, not only national level and what she does on a professional level, but the things she does for Columbus local music are in her career have been fabulous.
She's always been good to me. Always.
Yep.
I can't say enough nice things about her.
Yep.
You know, but she's another inspiration area for music and for myself personally. But so when I did this, there was no intention. It's not sponsored by anyone.
Like I told you before, brother.
It's just kind of
if you're doing it from a labor of love, if you do things from your heart, everything else is gravy.
Yeah.
Look how you've done this. You did this because you wanted to.
You love it.
It made you happy.
It's
and
genuine.
also these other people are like, hey, could you interview me? Could you interview me? Or, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, and that's
I love it.
That's, you know, it comes from the heart. It'll reach the heart. Mike Nugent. That's the truth.
That's interesting. It's a little bit of a surprise, right, on how it's been received. And in the 100th episode this year, I was blessed by so many people that came here and they tried to, you know, their best. And I didn't want to be, you know, felt like it took me by surprise. I was so overwhelmed by the love of the musicians that were part of the episodes. And I was just like, it didn't compute for me that it was that real popular. It wasn't registering that it was that popular and appreciated. And so I have to take a moment every now and then and thank everyone for doing what you got, doing the podcast too, but let's get the podcast pointed to your music and to your shows and to wherever you want people to consume what you're doing. Right. And if it's an avenue that helps people do that and get the word out, that's all the better because it's good for everyone. And it's on a global stage. It's on all the streaming platforms. So
what did you say?
Remember what I said?
I mean, there's other people listening to this?
Oh, there's a lot of regular listeners. It's been the third year. Is there a beep going on?
That ain't mine.
No, you remember what I said about when the one door closes and another one opens? I mean,
they do.
You never know where
what's going to happen.
Something might come out of the horizons, out of the heavens. It's like, how the hell did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
And
I get that.
You know, well, why not be nice to people? And because you want people to be nice to you. And I mean, I had a guy come see us play 10 years ago, and oh man, I love the band, blah blah blah. And then 10 years later, he calls me. Do you remember me? I said, yeah, man, I remember you. How the hell are you doing? He goes, how did you find me? Because I looked on Facebook. He goes, would you play my 30th birthday party? I go, absolutely. I mean, you know, for someone to think of you 10 years later, you know, I'm not at the top of everyone's Christmas card list, and that's fine. I understand that. But the fact that I had made such an impact on him enough to call me, and we did it, we had fun, and check cleared, and everything's good. So, you know. So it's just, you know, man, you got to give it back. Like I was saying before about just being reciprocal of what you do. It's a blessing. And the fact that I could give that back to other people, and then they give it to somebody else, this just goes on and on and on. And it's the same thing that you're doing. Like I said, man, you do this, it's a labor of love, and you're happy that it makes you happy, but you're helping people. It's all good, man. It's
a lot of different ways.
Absolutely.
And it draws attention to Columbus-based music, right? And to your guys' point, it's pretty diverse out there. It's not just the rock scene. The rock scene, I mean, I shouldn't just say it that way. I mean, I've had a lot of fun gigs in the rock scene. Love it. And I go see mostly rock bands, but I also go see Sean Booker. She's playing a lot locally, you know. But she's also out, you know, in Europe, and she's across the world, but she puts on a damn show.
Ray Fuller.
Ray Fuller's another one that I'll go see for sure.
I went to high school with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Ray's the real deal.
He's just a beautiful player. He's a
good soul,
passionate soul.
Just
no
a
doubt
good
about
soul.
it.
Man knows. When I think about the blues, I used to think about the late great Willie Pooch, God rest his soul, and Ray Fuller. Those are the two bluesmen in this town for my money. End of story. Mm-hmm. So Ray, if you're listening, we love you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Frank, you have a huge fan base in Columbus, Ohio. You do. They're going to be happy to see you out there, man.
I'll be happy to be playing out there for him, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It's been a
It
little.
gives me
It's
something
been a
to do.
minute for
It's been a
you,
minute.
and
It has.
you're bringing it up.
But you know what it makes me happy is that, you know, I don't really believe that you should do things for a reason. Just doing things to do things is just running in place, and I don't like that at all. And over the years I've had, are you going to do a Stevie Ray Vaughan show again? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Maybe someday. Well, some days come.
Well,
So now it's time to put your money
We
where
got
your
these
mouth
guys.
is. If you were one of those people that said, hey, you know, if you do that thing again, I'm going to come see you. I'm doing that thing. And we doing some Robin Trower and Hendrix. You know you like Hendrix, because I do. And if you don't, tough shit. Anyway, ZZ Top, Gary Moore, Stevie Wonder. Jeff Beck. I mean, it's just all good. It's music. It's guitar music with teeth. That's the best
And
way I can
it's a
explain
power
it.
trio
Yep.
that is powerful.
That is the operative word for today. I could not agree with you more. And passionate. Power and passion.
Power and
The Power
passion.
and Passion Tour.
That'd be a good name for a band.
Power and passion.
Power and
tour.
passion. Yeah, I like it.
I think
Rough.
we should change the name of the
I'm
band.
ready.
We got a winner.
Yep.
That's great.
Now
Can't
what?
wait.
This could be another band. 2 guitar players, bass and drums. Power of passion.
You ever play with 2 bass players?
No. Oh, I did one
think
time.
that'd be interesting.
Jeff Edelstein. Do you know Jeff?
Yeah. Very good bass player. Wow.
I had 2 basses and an AB box. He came out one night. I said, "Get up, man, get up." And I pressed the AB box and point to him, and you're on. And then I'd turn him off and I'd play. We had a good time.
That
It
sounds
was
like
just
fun.
it was all ad lib
I
too.
think James Brown had 2. I know he had 2 drummers at one time. I swear I think he had 2 bass
He
players.
probably did.
Could have.
Think about what he did. That was a show.
I got soul, man, and I'm super bad. So yeah. Yeah. I'm down with that.
And you know, I think that's we're going to put on a show.
Right.
It's a show.
right.
You know,
There's performance to be had. You know, we were just saying, I'm talking about Superbad. I have to tell you a quick story about Jocko. I grew up down at Fort Lauderdale, and I met Jocko one time, and that was interesting to say the least. But a dear friend of mine knew him quite well, and he said he came over to Jocko's house one day, and he knocked on the door, and Jocko's in his underwear, and he's playing his jazz bass. And he goes, "Listen, man, listen to this. This is the heaviest shit on the planet. It was Superbad by James Brown." Now, if that don't tell you about the groove, then nothing does.
Wow.
It's all about the groove.
Oh,
Always.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Always. No matter
Always.
what kind of music. You know, if it don't move you, man, you got a hole in your
Oh,
soul.
but that's where you float. You float on the groove. You're driving the groove, Frank.
Right.
But these guys have the foundation for
Oh,
you
most
to
definitely.
to
Definitely.
put your brush upon.
I agree.
And
I
it's-
agree.
it's
I like
magical,
that.
man.
I like that. I mean, I like the space. My dear friend Mike Nugent, great guitar player and one of my best friends in the world, said that about the Frank Harrison group, and he said, "I like that. Not reckless abandon, but because it's dangerous what you do. Because if you have a good bass player and a good drummer." I said, well, it's like Jeff Beck, man. You know, it's like another one of my heroes next to Hendrix. He knew when to play and when not to play. And I love that. That's just where I live. You know, I don't have to play a bunch of notes to get my point across. You know, another favorite of my guitar players is Albert King. Albert King plays 4 notes and you figured it out. And that's my passion in warfare when it comes to that kind of stuff. Cats that just say it with a couple of notes, and I try to do that. I play, and it's not to say that if you play fast, you're not any good. Oh my God, you know, there's some brilliant guitar players. I got a reel today from a local guitar player, Chuck Wilson, who used to play with Pat Jenny, older guy, and he's a quick guitar player, much like Rob Johnson from Club Lang, and he sent me this video of this girl. I think she was 10 years old, and she was blazing on the. I'm like, I'm gonna give up and be a plumber. Fuck this shit. This is stupid.
Whoa.
But the thing is, my point is, that's cool if that's where your heart's at, but you ain't me. You can't do what Frank Harrison does, and that's a gift. And I take it as a gift, not as a challenge, just as a gift. So, you know, it's like, man, you motherfuckers need to slow down. Play one note and mean it like B.B. King did. That's what I do. And if you're not paying attention, too bad. You're missing out. And getting back to what Dennis said, absolutely a performance. Absolutely a show. We mean what we do. Everything is meant. There's no falsehoods in this band. If there is, I'm going to be looking for another drummer, another bass player, because you won't get it from me. These guys made it. That's why it's a pleasure to play with them, man. It's cats that, we've been doing this so long that we still are passionate about the fact that I get to play drums, Dennis, and I get to play bass, Doug, and I get to play guitar, and together that means something. And that's the reason we're here talking to you, man.
That's sweet.
It's just a groove.
It's
an
awesome.
Absolute groove.
Yep. And it started 9 months ago-ish, give or take.
Yep.
But here you are.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the person responsible for this is Dennis. He concocted this whole thing. It's like, I think I found a bass player. I'm like, okay, we'll see. and I'm not being jaded or
no.
It's just I've heard that story before. I can play bass. No, you can't. Go sit down. And then when I heard about Doug, and like I said, he his reputation precedes him. It's either Doug Cole, nice guy, great bass player, or great bass player, nice guy. It's all intermixed, and I want a guy in my band like that. I want somebody I can actually have a conversation with, and
everybody has said, great guy, great bass player, you'll love him.
Yeah.
What else do I need to say?
Reputation.
Yeah, I mean, and I've already worked with Dennis before, and I know what that's about, and that's a good thing. So it's just a question of blowing the dust off of things. And Doug is such a well-versed bass player in all types of genres of music, and I think he felt like he needed to dip his feet in the pond of the blues and the more hard rock blues like we do. And it's like, dude, you have carte blanche with me. Throw down, brother. Just throw down. It's like, but he knows that, thank you, Dennis, dynamics, another operative word. It's like, man, I know how to spell dynamics, but I also know how to execute it. Mm-hmm. And this band does that. And this band will continue to do that. It's like, that's what keeps people on their seat. When you see a great guitar player like Hendrix, who played loud, but he also played real delicate like Red House, and would play, Castles Made of Sand and things like that. So that's where I live as a musician, is shade and light. It's like, yes, I play loud, and I certainly can be loud and boisterous, and I live there sometimes. I admit that, but I also, like Dennis said, we can play quiet, and we can play in the middle. That's, to me, that's the way you should live your life. Sometimes there's a reason to yell to the heavens. Sometimes there's a reason to be quiet and have a balance. We talked about that word too, man. There's all kinds of operative words that I try to live by. Sometimes I fail miserably, but I try. I get up every day and go, hey, thanks, God, I'm still here. Let's see what kind of trouble I can get into. And I don't mean that trouble. I mean goodness. Try to do things by the grace of God, because I know I'm blessed that I get to do this. I'm absolutely blessed. And now I get to be with these guys, and that's another blessing. So, yeah, man, come out to Newark, to the Yard on May 17th, Saturday, from 7 to 9. I mean, that's early enough for old people to go home and take their Metamucil. So, come on. And I believe it's in all ages.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's in all ages. Bring your kids, bring your lounge chairs, bring your enemies. Hell, I don't care.
There's trouble.
No, yeah, trouble.
We'll do the same thing to the enemies.
Right. We will, most definitely.
I want to try to ask Doug Cole. So, with Mimi Rousseau and Julie Ivory, those are Columbus names that you've had the pleasure. Anything funny when you performed with those folks? Any road story, any gig story that you look back on those days?
That I can actually
You don't
tell.
want to throw anybody under the bus, but something somebody might appreciate.
Oh Lord,
They
both were professional, great singers. I had a great time with both Julie. 11 years with Julie.
That's a hell of a
9
run.
months with Mimi, but
That's a
I've been
long
friends with
time.
Mimi forever, and although she's out in California now, but I don't really have any particular thing that I could probably tell you
That's
on the
all right.
air.
That's okay. I thought I'd check.
Just imagine.
check.
That's
Imagine.
all right. No worries, man.
Now let me think here. Well, there was Tiny Tim.
What happened with Tiny Tim?
Sunkissed, when we were playing before Snapshot, we were playing Sangria, and the guy that owned the Sangria at the time was also a entrepreneur, and he would bring acts into the Southern Theater, and he had brought Tiny Tim in. He had brought, and anyway, he brought Tiny Tim from after the show. We did a show with Tiny at the
cool.
club.
Very cool.
And we met Tiny, and although the girls didn't perform, it was just the band backing up Tiny Tim on this one night. And he literally came in with a shopping bag, and that was the real deal. He had his sheet music, he had his
violin was in
little
there?
ukulele. Tiny Tim's about
It's a ukulele.
6'5". He's huge.
Oh,
He
thank you
was.
very much,
He was
Mr. Carson.
but he was so extremely nice, and his material was from the 20s
Yep.
and before. He had charts that he gave us. It was brutal for him. I don't know how we never had
No
played
way.
any songs from the 20s and the 30s. I don't care what chart you give us.
No.
We had like an hour rehearsal before the
What do you
show.
think this is?
It
What do you think this is? Inagata Vita without the drum solo?
The only
Are
thing
you
we
kidding
didn't
me?
screw up was he did "Do You Think I'm Sexy" by Rod Stewart.
No, he
God.
did not.
And he laid down on the stage and he kicked his feet up in the air, and all these women come running up to the stage, and they were hugging on him, kissing on
Swooning.
him. Oh yeah, they were spooning. They were
Tiny
spooning
Tim.
with Tiny Tim. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Maybe he wasn't so tiny.
He wasn't so tiny,
Oh.
but great guy, man.
6'5"?
Oh, he's 6'5", 6'6",
Jeez.
big guy, real big guy.
That's a big motherfucker.
He's a big guy. Anyway,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's fun.
Very cool.
It was fun, but I mean,
Dude, you're gonna have more fun in 2025 than you ever thought 9 months
I'm
ago.
already. I can't wait till 2 weeks where we're gonna kick
There'll
some
be no
butt.
charts.
no charts.
No charts.
You got your songs down.
Yeah.
We do.
No medical charts. No charts of any kind.
Not necessary.
No. Hell no.
Just pulling it out.
Now we may need nurses on the side of the stage for when we're done, but when we won't have any charts.
Clear.
Clear.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I'll do it for me. Clear. Oh, that's right. That happened to me too. Doug?
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. You know, we're figuring next year is going to be a lot more adventurous.
Yeah.
Oh
this,
yeah.
This year's, you know,
You'll be busier next year
Yeah.
Clubs are booked. We're hoping
by
there's-
design.
We put the seeds out. We definitely, let people know that
If
we're
there's
back.
any openings, cancellations, we're available.
I heard you missed me. I'm back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
With a
There's
vengeance.
only one Frank Harrison Sr.
Thank
only
God.
one.
Thank God.
He's coming back.
I'm
in
saying thank God.
2025.
So it's a good thing, folks.
He's looking good. He's feeling good. He's feeling the mojo
Yeah,
with this
man.
group.
I'm excited. I really am. To get out and play music and hang out with these two guys that play loud and make people mad. I'm all about that. Hell yes.
The music's going to be quality. The vibe's going to be quality. The event's going to be quality. Hey, just go see
all good,
Frank
man.
Harrison Experience.
Absolutely. And
Can't wait.
And like I always say, if somebody asks you, "Are you experienced?" Now you are. Now you are.
That sounds like a good ending to this episode.
Thank you, Len.
May 17th, 2025 is the reemergence of Frank Harrison Sr.
Yep.
with the Frank Harrison Experience, comprised of Frank Harrison Sr., Doug Cole, and Dennis Carson on the drums.
Yeah.
Doug Cole on bass. Frank is main vocals and, of course, Fender Stratocaster
Fender Strat. Yep. That's the only thing I could do.
Folks, check these guys out. It's going to be quality. It's going to be fun. They're back with a powerful show.
Back with a vengeance.
Amen.
Episode number 111, Frank Harrison Experience. Go see him.
Thanks, Len.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.